Just wanted to make a quick video, and my title is A Lot of Men Are Broken and Need Healing, need tenderness, they need to uh, kind of do a self examination of self. 'Cause we all have different scenarios in life, and the one thing I noticed about a lot of men, younger men, boys, young men, even a lot of the older guys, that uh, a lot of people that don't have their fathers in their life. It could be mothers too, but mainly I'm stressing fathers have a type of anger and bitterness, and sometimes it manifests into rage and a recklessness and destructive behavior, that follows this person. And I give an example. I was talking to a coworker, and for some reason I brought up about the father. So immediate anger came, on scene from 1 to 10, but the father was never there. Don't even mention his name. Uh, my question, did he try to? Has he tried to, you know, repair relationship or make contact or explain? Don't even want to talk to him. See him sometime, don't even talk to him, which is weird to me. Uh, being transparent with my youngest children, well, my oldest kids, excuse me, said that wrong. I had to apologize to them because I wasn't there fully for them. It's different between being a father and a provider. I'm mainly a provider, because of child support and that type of scenario. But that's not really being a father. That's just being a provider. And, I could see some of that in my children's attitudes and behavior because me being absent, it affects a girl greatly and it affects a boy greatly. But, they manifest in different ways. And most time it's negative, in a negative way. A father is supposed to be a protector, a teacher, a provider, and, such like. So when that's absent, it's going to be some type of deficiency right there and dysfunction. I mean, a person can look normal, talk normal, but their behavior, it might reflect, that absence in some form or fashion. Even a person, father not being perfect, but present means a lot. So my thing is with the younger guys, I call myself stepdad. I always try to adopt younger guys, but my form of adoption is just encouraging, them younger guys, especially guys my age, and just, lifting them up. It's like some things can be conscious and unconscious. Because when you have an older person, I've noticed that, just tell you, hey man, you're doing a good job. You're a great father, you know, because a lot of times, we don't have a blueprint on how to be uh, a good parent or a good citizen, a good role model, because we wasn't taught. You didn't have a man there, specifically talking about a man. You didn't have a man to go by. So you go by society or what you see on TV or what the neighbor's doing or what you've seen a coach tell you. So you have to kind of like pick up from here, from there. But like my primary conversation is talking about, the woundedness, the hurt, the bitterness that caused. And it comes out in different ways. A lot of people go to jail or they drop out of school, their grades are low. Uh, just, they don't develop good work habits, you know, just a lot of different things. And not a lot of people are undisciplined because you wasn't shaped and molded properly a lot of time. Not saying the mothers don't do a good job, but you need both parents if all possible. So, if you see a younger guy might be doing good, working, and you're an older man, and you just notice certain things in that person that might be a little off. Try to encourage and help them. Like with the young guy I'm talking about, I always ask him questions about his natural dad. I tell him I'm his stepdad. I even gave him a hug today. I said, it seemed like me, you needed a hug. My daddy, he didn't hug me, but I said I was going to be different with my children. I tell them I love them all the time. I encourage them, even when they fall. Life ain't over, get back up. So if you don't have that there, imagine you don't have somebody encouraging you. Your mom, most mothers always going to be a rock for their children, girls or boys. But, God designed it for be a man and woman, and the man was made first than the woman. The woman carried certain attributes in the man. So when you have both there, a lot of time, not saying, because you can have two kids in the house raised by both parents, and it's still one go one way and one go the other way, but it's more likely to be successful if both parents can be involved, even if they're not even living together. They supporting their child. It's just a dynamic that's how God designed us. Even the animal kingdom, a lot have male and female. Sometimes the male hang around. Sometimes, it don't happen. He just fertilize whatever and move on. But, with human beings, I think when you don't have that that system in place, and that process somewhere along the line in that child, is broken. A lot of time men, we lie. We're gonna be there, we're gonna come when we don't come. That due to a child, the anger it can build in a child, and it can distort the way they look at it. It's like some females, they have so many bad experiences, or their mother had bad experience, they don't even want to deal with a man because they see the type of man that the mom dealt with and what she had to go through. Same with a boy turning into a man. It could cause him to want to be, another way as far as his sexuality, the way he carries himself. So I just wanted to encourage, if you're broken or feel like, hey, I missed something in life, without a father being around, and that's seemed like, especially with the black community, that's pretty common now. I grew up, I was younger in the late 70s, early 80s, pretty much the neighborhood. It was a dad around, even though he might have been a drunk or fornicator, adulterer, I say that or something, but he was still in place. But now it's like you see mostly women. I could be wrong. Now I don't have stats in front of me, pulling around children by themselves. You didn't see that. It was mostly families. So we see the dynamic of, how boys acting now. They more feminine, more sensitive, less physical. Not saying you don't have physical specimen. As far as more, I call them manly man or alpha male. You got more beta males. My wife, she's breaking it down than ever out here. So it's a lot of healing, and not saying some people can't be fixed. I'm sure in some cases where just, it's hopeless, but a lot of us, our mindsets can be reset. They can be changed from a negative to a positive. So this little short video is, if you feel like, hey, I'm broken, I'm hurt, there's nothing wrong with finding a counselor or finding somebody who got wisdom, and even finding a person that could potentially, be like that father figure, so you can, just pour out your heart or get a hug, a handshake, or some advice. My daddy was less of a talker and more of a doer, so I watched him do things, change oil, work on the house. He would work, come home, just the way he carried himself. I was made to work, so I just assumed this is what a man do, every day, week in, week out. You get out there and work, take care of your family. Not saying he was perfect, but that's what I seen. But I couldn't imagine, a boy, a teenager growing up not having no type of, man around, constant, that you could really depend on to teach him something. How to tie a tie. We grew up shining shoes, chopping wood, just working, cutting grass. I did much more than that as a young man. But times have changed. A lot of people don't make their children have to work so hard. That's what I had to do a lot of time. And I'm not complaining. I appreciate my father, and I honor him, my mother, and I love them both. He's gone. But, if you feel like, you just, hey, I wish I had a dad. I know I could have done better. Maybe I wouldn't be in jail so much. Maybe I wouldn't have kids, so many kids, out of wedlock, or maybe my temper wouldn't be so quick. Whatever it might be, but, anybody can get healing. But you have to initiate it. You have to want it, And if you see somebody, even in the neighborhood, you're an older person, you see a young person, and if they approachable, try to talk to somebody, try to help them, encourage them or whatever. Ask them questions. That's what I do. How's your day going? What's going on? Find out what kind of talent they got. Just lift them up. And if you're broken and you feel wounded and abandoned, it's things out there that can help you, but you have to really want to do it. You got to really want to face the darkness or the pain. It's like I have things, depression, PTSD. It's like, well, okay, my pride and ego, I can do this by myself. But after so many years, okay, I can't do it. Maybe I need to get on the meds. Maybe I have an imbalance in my mind. Maybe I need to cry. Maybe I need to go talk to somebody. So that's the route I had to do. Humility had to come on. Meekness had to come on scene for me to realize, hey, I'm just a human being, and I got this built up pain or darkness or hurt in me. I got to get it out so I can move forward in life, because the next generation, you start having children, you don't want to keep that cycle going, because that's what happens. You have a generational curse. And that's what we have in my sight, especially with the fatherless children. Men, we act more like animals as far as procreating, but not really stepping up for the responsibility. We can get into the Dr. Umar thing on Sword Society and welfare and child support and how it shifted from families to brokenness and dysfunctional. But a lot of people are woke. They know a lot of this information. But my main concern is, you know, loving somebody, because we all need love. We need affection. God designed us to want to, to have certain things fulfilled inside of us and not walk around angry and wounded and pissed off. And why I had to, like a friend of mine, he grew up with nothing. Wear the same clothes, got picked on, no food, because the dad wasn't really there. He didn't step up. So the mom had to do everything. So now he pretty well off, but that pain and that shame and humiliation is still fresh in him, even though he in his 40s. I'm like, God, when is the axe going to be, the hatchet put in, where this can be, you can move on from that. I don't know. Maybe never. But if you realize that you're hurt and you're wounded, try to do something different. Don't ignore it. Address it. Talk to somebody about it. If you can't do nothing but talk to God, that's what I do a lot of times. Somebody say you religious or you spiritual, but the Word of God is a big help to me. Now they got other books, a lot of helps and videos on different things. So I would encourage, if you're broken, if you're hurt, you've been wounded, you've been abandoned, you've been molested, you've been, just whatever it is, I suggest and I encourage you to get some help. There's nothing wrong with it. That don't mean you're weak. Real strength sometimes is just admitting, hey, I need to go in another direction. I want to change. I want to talk about this thing. And if your dad is around and he's living and he ain't in your life, it's like me. Hey, it's like my brother. He asked, my father some hard questions. Why wasn't you there in my life? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? He said the dad cried, but it's like you can't change the past. But maybe that helped him, because that's a hurtful thing, to be a child and not having your biological parent there for you. But, I always said, lust and love is two different things. But hopefully this was a helpful video to someone. I love you all and have a blessed night.